Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out your hustle. And today we are here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto,
Skies are
Canada.
blue today. No more gray skies.
Oh my goodness. How's everything going, Coach?
Good. Things are going great.
Good. I want to give a shout out to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. So, guys, get ready because Coach Karen comes to us with all kinds of expertise in a multitude of businesses over the course of her lifetime. We want you to take a minute and just put your phone on do not disturb because this is going to be good. What you got for us today, Coach?
Oh, and let me take mine off right away too. This is a good thing. All right. I thought I did.
Because
All right.
lately
So
I've been forgetting to do that.
yeah. So and the minute I forget, the day I forget, that's when people call me, right? So
Right.
take that off. So today we're going to talk about lessons I've learned from watching others. But before we get there, let's
Okay.
get right into what happened. We cover this month. This month we talk about temporary problems and how we tend to make them permanent when they're just temporary. We
Mm-hmm.
also covered insecurities about money, and then we talk about planned spending last week.
Mm-hmm.
And so this week, to close out this month, we're going to talk about lessons I learned from watching others and
Oh my goodness.
seeing what they do. And
Wow.
let's get in there, talk about it a little bit. I think it's good to close it out that way. We're in the first quarter. You could take, I hope you've been taking notes, coming in and looking. Some people say nothing, but they come in and they watch, and it takes
Mm-hmm.
them a long time. Somebody said to me the other day, and she left no comment on the video, but on my personal page, she says, it just motivated me, Karen. I just listened to the tape. It was last week, Wednesday, she was talking about, she says, I was so motivated when you finished talking because I wasn't looking at money this way. And so you
Mm-hmm.
never know. I never know who I'm touching. Some people reach
Exactly.
out and tell me, some people tell me nothing. But I want whatever it's doing for you, let it keep doing it for you. Okay? That's what I'm here for. All right. So we're going to talk about, when I talk about this, there's a couple of things I noted down and wanted to talk about. Spending everything the same day, once somebody's paid,
Oh
and
my
what to do
goodness.
instead. Like I've watched it.
Really?
Whether it's because the money's in their hands or it's in the bank. And it shows up a couple of ways. Sometimes we don't even think we do it. For the people who get the money, say, all of it going to bills anyway. You spent all your money as soon as it came in. You're no different from the person who take all the money, went to the store and buy a bunch of things, if that's what you're doing.
So what you're saying is they know that most of the money's going to go for bills. So whatever the excess is, they just take it and blow it.
They either take it or blow it, or they're at the point where whatever they work for truly only can pay the bills. There's nothing left over. They've
Yes.
designed themselves that way. And when I tell people this, they're like, you can't tell me that kind of working hard night and day. I don't really want this. This is what's happening to me. No, it might have started that way, but you let it continue to be the way you're living. And so I've
Mhm.
watched people do that. And when I was younger, I will argue. As I gain experience, I said, okay, makes sense. And I'm going to give you, when I tell you something, I'm going to give you a little bit of story behind
Mhm.
it. I had friends, and Terry, I had spoken about them before. I had 13 guys that hang with me. We
Mhm.
hang out. We were all teenagers. We started hanging out when we were about 13 or 14, but right through high school. We were just friends and we just got closer. And then they're bringing their buddies. So it was just a group of people on my mom's balcony who just come and hang and play cards and all kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And my mom's always a quiet person, but she would just allow my friends to come and hang, and she didn't mind because I guess in her mind, as I get older, I realized it was safe. If I gotta go to a party,
She knew where you were.
yes. And if I was going to a party, it was me and the same guys that were going. If we go into the
Mhm.
movies, if we go into church, all the guys and I do the same
She
thing.
knew they were looking out for you.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so we hang together. And over time, I would say to them, like, so what are you guys doing? Because the guys and I are hanging, but I'm in business. And And, as we get older, I'm like, what are you guys going to do? And everybody's saying what they want to do, but some people are not getting it done. And I remember we had a guy in the group that did upholstery. And he's like, well, yes, I'm going to be an upholsterer. I'm like, is that what you really want? I'm like, you need to go away and think about it. And he realized that's what he wanted. Here was the thing, though. He wasn't making enough money. He was not, the man was paying him next to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat him down and said, Nigel, we're going to write out what you're going to say, because he didn't have the courage at that point to face the employer. And I said, this is what we're going to say. You're going to say whatever his name is, and you're going to say, here, I love what I do. I love that you teach me to do this so well. But I'm willing to find a new shop because you don't pay me enough money.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that simple. And he came back and he says, Caren, he asked me how much I want. And I didn't know what to say.
Exactly. He hadn't talked it all the way through.
I said, okay, so let's sit down. And we sat down and decided. He lived at home and he helped his mom with bills. What is that looking like? He said, I don't know, whatever she needs. You're going to give your mom X amount of dollars, not whatever she needs. What do you need for clothes? What do you need for transportation? Yes, it was walking distance, but when it rained, he did take the bus. And we start looking at all the things that Nigel needed. Mm-hmm. And we looked at his budget and we looked at what makes sense. Not only what he needed, but how we need to save for what he's going to want, bigger items. And at some point, what he's going to invest in. And so he went back, not with the list to the guy, but to the number. And the guy said to him, Nigel, I can keep you on part-time, but I can't pay you that money. And Nigel says, okay, I'll give you 3 weeks and I'll find a new shop. On the 3rd week when Nigel was supposed to leave, guess what the employer did? Paid him the money. Mm-hmm.
Because he realized it was going to take him forever, first of all, to train a new person.
Mm-hmm.
Was it going to be somebody that he had confidence in to leave in the shop?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we're paying because it makes better security sense.
Yes. And Nigel was constant, never late for work, stayed later than, never got paid overtime. He would stay to finish just so the customers are satisfied. I mean, I said,
he went over and above.
Yeah. I said, he trained you, so you paid your due already. Now it's time to be paid properly as an employer. And at the time, I didn't know much stuff about what happened employer-wise. I got in contact with my grandmother. I wanted to know what her benefits were, what she got at work.
That makes sense.
I didn't know.
It makes sense when we don't know to ask someone who's already been through something.
Yeah. I'm like, she knows. And I'm like, tell him he needs to give you this, this, and this.
There you go. And thank God she knew.
Yeah. I'm so happy she knew. I always said she was a good resource for things because she had a really good memory too.
There you go.
And so Nigel, we become so close that people thought we were boyfriend and girlfriend because I was his little sister. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. He was, I think, a year or two older than I. So I was a little sister. That's it. We just were gotten so close. We know the guy because over just different things we'd bond over. And that's with the human. That's what happened with humans. When you learn something from somebody, you don't have to be insultive. You don't have to carry on. You just have to see what's happening and you do the opposite if it's not the good stuff. Now, if it's the good stuff, get in there and learn about it. Learn from them. People want to help you. People really want to show you. People really want to. People do not like when they help you and you abandon them or you throw it aside like it was nothing. Nobody likes that. But people genuinely want to help you. If you want to do the work, people want to help you.
There you go.
Yeah,
you heard it, guys. And I think it's really true because you want to share your successes and you'd like to see those things rinsed and repeated by someone else.
Yes. It's really a good feeling. The second thing that I learned was people who wanting something but and not willing to wait to buy it. People want something and just get it right away. Now, there's things you get right away, and nothing's wrong with that. But if you're consistently getting everything you want right away and you can't, the finance is not ready yet for it. You might want to wait because you might notice that you really don't need it. And it can wait. And you're putting yourself in debt. You're putting yourself in this cycle of not growing. And So let's talk business, for example. If you want to get a few software, put it down and put the cost for the software. So maybe 2023 is not the year you're going to get that software, or maybe
Okay.
you're going to get it in the later half of the year. So
Mhm.
right now you want software, maybe you need a new laptop. Okay. So you put it down and you say the next half of the year, I'm going to work towards that. But this half of the year, I'm not going to indebt myself and get a new laptop. How long I think this laptop could work? And maybe I'm not sure, but I can find out. And do I need to just get it tuned up, carry it somewhere and get it cleaned up? Maybe that's all it needs. And
Mhm.
could I just take the stick and one of those stick, that the memory stick, and stick it in there and take out the stuff that I need so I can lessen the burden of the computer. And then
Uh-huh.
now I know that I can buy the computer. So when I take it on my card and the bill come, I could pay the credit card versus getting a stock of tech stock, but you can't really, your business not supporting it yet.
Mhm.
Because let me pause and say this: your business can't support it if enough sales is not coming in, guys. If your business is not making enough sales, you want to get into sales. Now, let me do a little plug for myself. If you're not good at sales, you want to talk to me. You want to talk to me and how to get there, how to market it, how to move around, and how to measure. One of the things I thought today I'll come and talk about just a little tiny bit because we're going to touch into it in May is understanding what is it you want to sell and how much you want to sell each and every day. This is important. Whether you sell it or not, initially is not important. We'll get there. But then the initial is understanding what I want to sell per day, every day, how much of it, whatever that thing
Mhm.
is. Maybe I got three things I want to sell per day, and it's three different things. But how many of those three things I want to sell per day? How many of that one thing I want to sell per day? Whether it's product or service, how much do I want to sell per day? Sometimes we play such a long game in the business world that we stop measuring what we want to sell per day. And let me tell you, no big business is sitting around hoping to sell at the end of the month. No, what am I selling today? What am I selling each and every day, whether they're open or they're closed? They sell every single day. All right.
Mhm.
I thought I should put that in right there, let you know. So when you want to get yourself something, I'm not saying not to get it, but I'm saying, especially if it's for your business, how are you getting yourself ready to get it? How are you not buying it just on a whim because it looked good and it feels like it's going to serve, the purpose you want? And you ask yourself a couple of questions. Do I need it right away? Could I wait a bit? Is the
Mhm.
money that's coming in right now from the business able to support that? Right? Because again, today's lesson is about what I've learned from watching others, jumping
Okay.
in the gun, getting everything set up because it looked pretty and nice, but they're not ready yet.
Mm. Mhm.
Guys, it's business we talking. They're not ready yet. And this stems from how you did it personally. When me and my husband first married and we got the place, we had a living room with no furniture in there. I think we had one chair. I think we had a chair. And I had a dining set on layaway. So by the time we moved into the place, the dining set, we had our beds, ourselves and the kids, and that's the one chair. And the kids sit on the floor anyway. Kids love sitting on the floor. I sat on the floor a lot because, and my husband ready because everybody was telling him where you can get this and where you can get that. And I held out. I said, no, we're not getting it. We're
Mhm.
just not getting it until we're ready because I wanted to get the furniture that I really wanted to get. And we waited. And in the meantime, my dad went to garage sale and got me two set of chairs, good condition for $75. And we
Mhm.
rallied those two chairs for 2 years strong while we saved to get the chairs that we
Mhm. It
you
makes sense.
yes, you can wait it out. And when you can do that in your personal life, it tends to bleed over into the business life, and you don't think you can get it. And that's why a lot of people go back and say, "Well, I didn't need this, and I didn't need that," because tech stocks, guys, meaning the software you're using or whatever, you sometimes you can't get to them right away. And if you're
Okay.
paying a monthly fee, you're not able to use it because you haven't learned it yet.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's why you bought it. It's a waste of coins, and we don't want you to waste the coin. We want you to put it somewhere. So maybe that could have been served better in an ad, or maybe it could have served better in buying a book and learning about marketing, So
Mhm.
I offer different opportunities where you can see where the money should go versus where you think you want to just spend it because it's easy. Life is simple, but there comes some work with it. You're gonna have to do it. All right. And what is this teaching you also? Self control.
Ah.
It's teaching you self control. Really,
Mhm.
that's what it's doing.
Wow.
It's teaching you self control, something that you learn and you'll pass on in whatever capacity your business is in. It's important. The things that we're learning is really to pass on. And so when you don't learn it well, it's hard for you to pass on. It's hard for you to sell what you have because you haven't accumulated the discipline yet, the
Mm.
behaviors, the beliefs. So people can feel it, even though they might know what they're feeling from you, but they can feel it. And you're not able to move. And you wonder why. And you see other people, you're like, but they're moving. Well, you haven't done the work that you needed to do. This is why sometimes people see personal development as such a thing that is broadly said, and it's trying to get money from you. Personal development has been there forever. It was just not named personal development.
Exactly.
You need to develop you constantly. That's just life, right? That's just life. Number three, I learned that telling everybody what what I will do, what they would do. People will be spreading about what they will do, but don't get it done. That's something I learned. I watch people talk about what they'll do. And then when it doesn't come to fruition, they get frustrated, they get upset, they stop talking to people, they're embarrassed. Really, it's embarrassment that's happening. And so now people will distance themselves from you and you'll say, but I didn't do anything. You really didn't. It's just how they're feeling inside.
Mm.
They might
Mhm.
have promised to, I don't know, paint a house and they didn't get it done. But you don't know. But you popped up and talk about your house being painted. And now they're embarrassed. And you don't even know that they promised to paint their house, but they're so embarrassed that they'll stop talking to you,
Oh,
you
wow.
know? And you would notice. And there's so many reasons people will distance themselves from you. I have a friend that does really well. And I remember she telling me, I don't know why this other person that we knew in common don't talk to me anymore. And I said to her, you know, you have to understand X, Y, and Z. She says, you think you, she's like, you, are you sure? She was a client and we became good friends. I said, when you lived in your townhouse, the friendship was great, wasn't it? She goes, yes. And she goes, Karen, hard life was for us. Me and my husband decided I need to be a stay-at-home mom. I wanted to do it. He agreed. So we had one salary. And we really just tighten our belts and say, this
Mhm.
is what the family needs. This is what I want to see happen. She grew up in a large family and she wanted to shower her son and kids with this kind of love that she and him felt they were missing. So this is their life. And so for years they lived in that townhouse. I think like 8 years or so they lived in that townhouse. But
Mm.
while they live in that townhouse, they repaired everything that needed to repair. They kept the home really well. She spent a lot of time tutoring her son, taking him to karate, soccer, and anything that he liked. She cared for her husband. He in turn cared for her. And so they lived a good life. And so in the meantime, once things start slackening itself and he got a better position, he starts saving money for them to buy a bigger house because I think they wanted another kid. And so when they bought the other house, a lot of Dren's friends fall off. And she couldn't understand why. And I'd warned her. I said, you didn't do anything. It didn't matter how great you were when you
Mhm.
were there because they haven't moved and they haven't grown yet, or maybe they don't want to. They don't know how to be your friend in this new phase of your life.
Mm.
And she
Okay.
was a very free girl. She chat about things, not boastfully, just what happening in life,
Yeah.
right? And I think when her husband opened his own company and he hired her, she lost some friends. And I told her it might happen because he literally says, I'm going to pay somebody anyway. And I know to some people, he sat her down and he says, the work you're going to do, I'm going to pay you for it, just like anybody else. Because the
Nice.
kid is older now and you don't have to do as much. And you might want your own money, not only the family money. And I want you to have that independence. He says, whatever courses you need to take to learn to be the best at what I need, I am going to pay for it. And he did.
Wonderful.
And she said, Karen, because she came to get her hair done when she got her first pay. And we were like laughing and jumping up and down. She goes, Karen, he literally paid me. He wasn't only talking. And I'm sure she shared it with other people. But the people, she says, you're the happiest for me. I just don't understand. I said, mm-hmm.
You know, friends are truly happy for you when you advance in life, when things are going good for you.
Yes.
Not just, you know, empathetic when things don't go right.
I said, so God is allowing you to see who needs to drop off. That's all.
Mm,
I said he's allowing the people to drop off because there's greater things that's coming down the pipe. And so some people have to go. Now, when I say this to people, sometimes they don't like it, even in business,
yeah,
guys. Some people have to go, not because you're going to send them away, they're going to leave on their own.
exactly.
Your development is going to move them. So watch. And it doesn't matter if they're your church sisters or brothers, they will leave because there's a lot of people in our church. They will leave.
Hmm.
You will feel as though you're being abandoned.
Yes,
But
that's
it's
the word
not
I was going to
true. The
use.
Father is finding room for the people that He needs to come and surround you to where
Mhm.
you grow through. I said, the only thing you got to realize and remember, don't leave the Father alone when they start moving upward.
Yes.
Stay present. All right, guys. So, most of the things that we're learning and doing and growing is there in the Bible. All the
Yes.
things we need is right there, guys.
Hmm.
Right there. All right. Any questions you have right there? We humans, myself, Terralina, the BizChicks, we help you grow into what is already inside of you. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Wow. So far we learned don't spend money you don't have, and then be careful and expect your friends to drop off. And there was something in between there we were talking about.
I was talking about not buying before you're ready, buying when
Okay,
you're ready.
not buying before you're ready.
Mhm,
Yes. Not being able to postpone personal gratification.
mhm, mhm.
Don't be tempted to run out and spend a bunch of money.
And that revert right back to the budget situation. That revert right back to planning and setting goals. Because
Mhm.
when you're getting there, I got my goal chart there, and I recognize I was panicking. I think at the end of February going into March about some things. And this is the nice thing about goal setting and planning and having it in plain sight. When I look at my first quarter, what it was about, it was
Mhm.
planting seeds. And all I had to answer was, Karen, did you plant enough seeds? That was the question I had to answer. And are you working on the seeds, meaning are you watering the seeds?
Mhm.
Are you, yes, you're doing that. And what else are you doing? And then once I answer those questions, I'm good to go. I'm in my second quarter, and now I am where I'm supposed to be because I've been doing what I set out to do. Because I set a goal, I plan it out, and I'm working it out. There's Excel spreadsheet, guys. There's Google's. You can use Google Docs if you
Mhm.
don't have Excel, and get in there, get those things planned out, get those goals, get them hashed out, get in there and set it up so you can watch it and see it. I probably should do a BizChicks workshop with the guys talking about Google and setting up those goals in there where you can see it and move it. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
But
think we
that's
did it once, but the screenshots could have been better. So we'll work on that.
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
on
yes.
the
Getting in there
slides.
and just getting it going, just doing what you got to do. And last but not least, just do it. Just do it. I look and see, as I said, I'm looking and watch other people do. They talk, but they wouldn't do it.
Mhm.
They wouldn't do it. I give you another little story. There was this baker shop that right next to where my mom lived, and there the baker shop was closed for over a year. And when a young man, he was in his 30s, came to rent the baker shop because home in Guyana, this is in Guyana, guys, we rent the baker shops out, and so he went to rent it. And a lot of people discourage him and say to him, "Don't rent it, being locked up for over a year." And he went to the owner, and the owner said, "Yes, it's for rent." And he came in with his wife, 4 kids, and the person that was going to help him bake. And they cleaned that place, Terry, for 2 weeks straight. They showed up every day, bucket in hand, brushes,
Indeed.
and they cleaned it out. The wife would stay half a day and then she'll go home with the kids because they had some young ones on the hand, but they were in there with them. And as it started winding down, she came less. Yeah, she was pregnant after they had 3 kids. And some other guys came on board, I guess was her brother and his family when they can. And they cleaned that place out. And I didn't know that, but as he told me after, he says, Caren, everybody discouraged me. But
Mm-hmm.
I rented it because that was in my price pocket. And I had the goal that I am going to build one of the best bakery. He says, now, I am not the best baker, but I knew the best baker. He said, I am not the best baker, but I knew the best baker, and the best baker were retired and doing absolutely nothing. He needed something to do. So I was going to give him this job and offer him money that he cannot refuse for his grandchildren. Because all he got to do is manage. And then I will hire other people to come in and sublease from him because he couldn't, it was a real big bakery.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, Terry, that man opened the bakery, and in less than a year, he was so busy because he planned it, he organized it, and he get going with it. Just do it, guys. Whatever it is you want to do, get up and do it. Do it messy, then clean it up. Do it messy and then clean up as you go because nothing comes out perfect. Nothing comes out perfect. He did. That's the bakery that I baked for over 3 years for free.
Wow.
Over 3 years, the man see me. I came in. I told him what I want to do because I baked at home, but I had a small oven.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Is that so?" And he said, "So bring what you got." And I did brought it over today. And he says, "Caren, I love to see another small business owner want to develop themselves. And you're so young." He says, "Here's what I'm going to do for you. Nothing that you ever bring here, we will charge you for." And I said, "Oh, for like a month?" He goes, "No, for as long as you own your business, I will bake for you for free. Here is
Wow.
I'm going to set up the schedule. He asked me what time I need to bake, and I would just bake accordingly." Whole business when I lived at my mom. I tell you, when you get up and do, God just keep blessing you. He just keep putting the people in the way, but you got to get up and just do it. You got to start. It's going to look messy. When somebody say I'm the CEO of my business, that doesn't mean everything is straight and perfect. It means there's a lot of mess in there that they're figuring out and fixing. That's what they're doing because it's a small business. No, a big business, have a CEO is a different story. But a beginner business, a mom and pop business, or Americans like to say, it's a messy CEO. We are messy CEOs. And we learn and we grow and then we implement. And hopefully, all I've been giving you guys, you put into system operations and you start seeing yourself. And you now, in turn, get a chance to help others. You give other people jobs. You help them to grow. One of the things I love doing my employees when they come on board and once they get permanent is, what are your goals? What are you planning to do? Don't be afraid to ask them that. Don't think that that's going to make them run away. Actually, it will encourage them to want to be working for you. You're part of their inspiration. They're not going anywhere. They might lessen their hours. They might not be full-time anymore, but they want to be in your presence if it's people who's progressive.
Wow. That is amazing. Wow. Wow, Coach. I'm just, I wasn't expecting these to be the lessons that you learned, but they make perfect sense. And the book I read says that if you wait for all conditions to be perfect, you'll never plant. So
I seed.
Mhm, mhm. So yeah, we need to do it messy. I like that last point. Just do
Do
it.
it messy. I listen. I tell people, "What is that?" I said, I have mental mentors that I listen to. And I love Jim. I love certain of them because they'll tell you the best book to start off with is the Bible.
Yeah.
That's your book. Okay. Every other book come after that. That's your first book. Get in there and learn. And when you first start reading the Bible, you're a mess. You don't know what the heck you're reading. It feels jumbled up. It's confusing.
It
And
can
then
be.
you ask the
Mhm.
Father for clarity, and He doesn't give it right away because you can't take it right away. So it comes in small bites. And you're like, this is all you're giving me today? Yes, because Karen, this is all you can handle. And throughout the day,
Precept
I'll see.
upon precept. Yes. Oh my goodness. Wow, guys. Coach, it's just always a blessing when you come. And I
Thank
just
you.
want people to know that they can contact you. They can, is this to book an appointment? Let's see here.
Yes, yeah, that's the one for.
This
No,
is
this is the
this says
courses.
course.
This
This
is the
is your
course. Yeah.
course that they can sign up for. Do you want to talk a little bit about that course real quick?
Yeah, that is that is the epitome of what I'm talking about here. Finding yourself, finding out what you want. This course is going to help you find out your heart's desire, how to work through it, and how
Mm.
to find it's a roadmap really. It's getting out that map and just figuring out where you're going to put parts of it and watch it come to life with all the different exercises I'll have you doing there.
Oh, wow. Okay, and then if they're looking to schedule an appointment, I believe
Mhm.
this is the link to
Yes, and
schedule
if
an
you're just
appointment.
wanting to come and have this chat, and you'll leave with about 3 pages of things that you can go and implement. We'll talk through. It's about editing your business, seeing where you're at, understanding where you are personally, and what leaps over into your business world and what you want to see happen in your business. And that's what we'll be talking about because only you knows what you want to see. You might be afraid right now. You might think this is not possible. But I promise you, it is. Once you set it up, plan it up, and structure it as such and get in there and do the work. It's going to take work. There's
Okay, well,
no.
I put that in the chat, and I'm going to
Mhm,
put the link for the course also
mhm,
in the chat in the comments, so that if you guys are looking to book an appointment or take this course from Coach Karen, you'll have the necessary links
links. Yep.
to make that happen. So, Coach,
Yep.
we just want to thank you again for all that you do. We want to remind everybody that we talked today about lessons learned from watching others.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Here at BizChicks, we love to have you be a part of our community. So we want to thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. We want to also let you know that at BizChicks, we do workshops, office hours, masterminds, and we do live stream production. So if you're looking to have your own show, give us a call. We'll help you with that also. Tomorrow, we'll be talking happy, healthy habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. But in the meantime, we want you to know that we are looking forward to you being a part of our Biz Chicks
Mhm.
community. And to do that, you can join Biz Chicks by texting Biz to 33777, or you can simply go to bizchicks.net and sign up to be a part of our community. We'd love to help you help others. With
Yes.
that, we want to thank you for all that you do and for that you've done today. Coach, thank you again. It's just always a blessing being here talking about Profits in Daily with Coach
Yeah.
Caren
Yeah.
Fern.
Yeah.
So with that, we want to remind you it's okay to make money in your business. So go to the front of your own line.
Please. Bye bye.
Bye bye, everyone.